The Community Education Channel presents Community View, a closer look inside community issues that matter. It's a glimpse, a preview, bringing public perception to light on local community issues that make a difference. Hello and welcome to Community View. I'm Melissa Anderson. You know, it's home to the iconic Red Mountain, Tuacahn, and Snow Canyon State Park. Ivins is one of the most beautiful cities in the Southwest, and we're seeing a lot of growth there. With us today is the mayor of Ivins, Chris Hart. Welcome to you today.
Hi, Melissa. Good to be with you.
This is your fourth term. You were just reelected. Tell us a little bit about why you like being mayor of Ivins.
I just wanted an opportunity to serve my city. When I was elected the first time, there were a lot of things that I thought needed to be done. We've worked our way slowly down that list, and the big issue remaining is water. And with a position on the Water Conservancy District Board, I felt like I needed to hold down the fort here for this critical period of time in the county.
Yeah, and growth is a huge issue. How much growth are you seeing out there in Ivins, and how big of a problem is water going to be out your direction?
Well, it's a problem countywide, right? We're growing at about 5% per year, maybe a little slower than some of the rest of the county, but fast enough for us. And yes, water is the big deal to us. Ivins is maybe the youngest city in the county, and so we don't have a whole lot in the way of water rights. In fact, when I moved here over 20 years ago, my first development plat had a note on it that said that Ivins City may not be able to provide water to these residences.
Wow.
And so we've relied completely on the Water Conservancy District through our interlocal agreement to provide water to our city. And we've kind of almost reached capacity for them to deliver culinary grade water. And Ivins is one of the few cities that does not have a secondary water system yet. But we have required all of the development throughout the city for the last 20 years to install the plumbing for a secondary system. We just don't have the main lines and the supply. So our solution is that we're going to put a secondary water system throughout the city over the next 15 years-ish, and slowly replace the culinary grade water that's being used for irrigation.
Well, that's a good thing.
But it's a good thing. Our problem is that we don't have culinary water, and nor do we have secondary water. So the district is on the verge of putting a couple of reservoirs out in the Ivins area to store probably reuse water more than anything else. But that will become a source for us to charge our secondary water lines. But we're beginning our first phase of that project. I think it's in the neighborhood of $4.5 million for the first phase, and then each phase nearly that again. So it's a huge project, biggest that Ivins will have ever undertaken, but the responsible thing to do, right? We just shouldn't be using water that's been treated and purified to drinking quality, right, in our yards and other uses.
And encouraging xeriscape landscaping. I want to talk a little bit about your new city hall that you put out there. You were right on top of that. You helped with pushing for the design on that. Tell me a little bit about that and why that's such an accomplishment for your city.
Well, we began outgrowing our old city hall darn near 10 years ago. We've sort of been stacking people in offices and sectioning off parts of our city council chambers to have a conference room. So we were out of room, and our law enforcement that's been housed in the Santa Clara City Hall, even though it's Ivins' responsibility and we manage it, they've outgrown their space too. So the obvious solution was to repurpose our old city hall, which doubles their space, and then build new space for our administrative offices. And yes, I mean, I love architecture. I'm a designer and builder, right? So I'm big into that, and had some other things that I thought were really important for our city to do with that building. Specifically, it is net zero for power, meaning we have a shade structure on our south parking lot that houses enough solar panels, to provide all of the power that building will use over the course of a year. And I think that's a cool thing. In fact, Ivins is kind of unique. We generate over 50% of the power that we use in our city government functions. So all our buildings and parks and everything through solar. And and we're proud of that. We like the fact that we're able to utilize renewable energy, you know, in our city profile. Beyond that, it's got the coolest heating and cooling system, the most efficient heating and cooling system, I think, known to man. And every individual office in that building, they can set the temperature wherever they want, but we have 20 wells. They're technically not wells because it's a loop. Water's drawn out of these 350-foot deep pipes, right, through the system, and it conditions the fluid that goes through all of these mini heat pumps throughout the building that allows us to condition that space. It's a very, very comfortable building.
Yeah.
And we designed it with passive solar in mind, so our roof angle's a little different, right? Things are going like this and this and this, and it's not a typical looking gabled roof. But every roof angle has a purpose. We've got clear story windows in 2 locations along the south side, and then on the north side, because we're just right below the Big Red Mountain, we have a roof line in our city council chambers that slopes up towards the mountain, and these big view windows that just literally capture that whole mountain when you're sitting in that room. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then the police department with Santa Clara and Ivins is also going to go in your old city hall. And how's that going? Is that almost done?
It's probably 3 months away, 2 or 3 months away. But the major part of the remodel on that has been done. The police chief wasn't terribly interested when we were planning it on doing much with the outside, but as we got closer, it was like, hey, we got to update the outside of this building too. So the city council agreed, and so we're in the midst now of, we just got the design back on kind of redoing the facade of the building to make it look like it's part of the 21st century.
Well, it sounds like you've got a lot of projects going on out there, and again, just, I guess, keep up the good work.
Well, thank you.
And congratulations on making 4th term of being mayor of Ivins.
Well, thank you very much,
Appreciate
Melissa.
that. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for joining us. And again, as always, congratulate our mayor of Ivins for his 4th term and accomplishments.